For the current issue, Satar is a well-known Terengganu traditional dish other than keropok lekor. It is a type of fish cake from Malaysia. The most usually fish that were used in Satar are chopped mackerel and ikan selayang. Although the texture is a bit similar to otak-otak, a Malaysian fish cake, but Satar was more softer than otak-otak. Satar may require some type of upgrading in the future to expand its market due to a lack of profit-making value. According to the recent study, many people are interested in processing a modern Satar. The quality of Satar is determined by how fresh the fish is. Thus, picking the right fish is important. The texture and the taste of Satar can be affected by different fishes than the original one, such as catfish and skipjack tuna. For the problem statement, healthy food comes in a pack of nutrients. Nutrients are molecules in food that all organisms need to make energy, grow, develop, and reproduce. However, the recommended daily protein intake for adults is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. I learned that sardines and chopped mackerel, two of the most popular fish used to produce Satar, had about the same amount of protein, which I believe to be insufficient. In response to this problem, the study proposed to compare the proximate content of Orochromos neuroticus with Decapterus species. The plan is to find an alternative fish source to replace shark mackerel and sardines, and also to develop new version of Satar by using different fishes such as red tilapia. For the objective, first, to develop Satar by using different fishes such as Orochromos neuroticus in order to create a new taste. Second, to study the proximate composition and sensory evaluation of the tilapia Satar. And lastly, to compare the nutritional composition of tilapia Satar with the original Satar. The methodology: processing of Satar. Step 1. Preparing fish flesh. To prepare fish flesh, there are a few processes to be done, which are cleaning the fish, boiling the fish, and removing fish bone. The fish will be properly cleaned both outside and inside with all organs removed. Once the fish is clean, the fish is boiled for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Step 2. Mixing the ingredients. The fish meat is then mixed with the ingredients such as grated coconut, red onion, garlic, red chilies, green chilies, and condiments such as salt, sugar, and mix until well done. Okay, step 3. Grilling. Satar can be prepared in two ways, with coal or with a griller. The distance between the hot coals and the satar should not be too near during the cooking to avoid the wrapping to be charred and the inside is full cooked. During grilling, the seasoned fish and banana leaf emit a mouth-watering aroma that is difficult to resist. Proximate composition of satar for ash, moisture, protein, and lipid. Ash content. Ash content of the sample was determined by using AOAC method. 5 grams of satar sample were placed in the proximate cubicle and then weighed. The sample were heated at 535 Celsius for 5 hours in the furnace. For moisture content is determined using AOAC method also. The moisture dish was weighted and 2 grams of the dried samples are added and weighed again. The sata are dried in an oven for 24 hours at 60 Celsius. Protein content. Determination of protein content will be done using AOAC method. This method contains 3 stages, which are digestion, distillation, and titration. The Kejodal method is used to determine the nitrogen content in organic and inorganic sample. Lipid was determined by using chloroform and methanol with ratio 2:1. The solution will become 3 layers, which the first layer was methanol compound, second layer was sample of sata, and the third layer was the mixture of chloroform and lipid. Sensory analysis. Cooked samples are analyzed for its sensory evaluation, sensory quality examination of the original SATA sample A and developed SATA sample B, C, and D are carried out with the help of 15 students for UiTM Predicts. Campus around. Hedonic rating using 9-point scale was adopted to determine the sensory quality. Shelf life. Shelf life is determined using direct observation method, which are the samples are evaluated based on the texture, color, and odor according to the hedonic scale. Okay, next for result and discussion. Proximate content of Orochromosine neuroticus. Table above shows the comparison of proximate content of original SATA with the Orochromosine neuroticus SATA. Content such as moisture is influenced by the addition of the Orochromosine neuroticus. These show that the contribution of 320 grams, 335 grams, and 355 grams of Orochromosine neuroticus has a significant difference in one-way ANOVA analysis. Percentage of ash, protein, and lipid increase as the amount of Orocomycin incorporate into the samples. The ash content of Satar with Orocomycin were generally higher than that of the original Satar, which signifies that the Tilapia Satar had a higher mineral content than the original Satar. The lipid content in the samples varied significantly from each other in one way ANOVA, and that shows that there are no neutral lipids in there. From this study, the proximate content of the original Satar is much lower than the Satar with tilapia fish in terms of ash, moisture, protein, and lipid. The moisture level itself is affected from Orocomycin, thus making the Orocomycin Satar high in moisture. There is a significant difference since in one-way ANOVA analysis. Other than that, protein content is the most highlight result in the study. Orocomycin is known with the high content of protein that has no significant difference in one-way ANOVA analysis. For sensory evaluation of oral chromosomal SATA, for order, the result shows that panelists tend to have more interest on the 320 grams of Orocomacerotica sata compared to the original sata. Some panelists may like the smell of 335 grams of Orocomacerotica sata as it's not so aromatic compared to the smell of original sata, and for 355 grams of Orocomacerotica sata, the smell is not too strong and still acceptable by the panelists. Based on Figure 4.1, for the taste sensory evaluation, panelists like the satire containing 320 grams of Orocomycin and 335 grams of Orocomycin compared to the original satire because the taste is more delicious and the fish itself gave a unique taste. Some panelists complained that the taste of 355 grams of Orocomycin satire tastes slightly savory and the fishy taste is intake. However, it is still tasty. For the texture of the sata, the panelists prefer the constant sata, which is original sata, since they were moist, soft, and dense than the 320 grams, 335 grams, and 355 grams of Orocomycin sata. The higher the content of Orocomycin the more soft it will be. This is because the amount of the tilapia that make the sata more soft since the ingredients such as grated coconut is brittle and chewy. The panelists choose the original sata because of the moist and soft. The appearance of the sata are examined by the colors of the sata that go from dark brown for the original sata to light brown for the Orocomycin sata. The panelists like the appearance of 330 grams of and 335 grams of Orocomycin sata more than 355 grams of Orocomycin sata, but the original sata is still acceptable. Conclusion. To conclude, Satar was a popular savory snack among the locals in Malaysia. Orocomycin is a popular fish due to its high quality of protein content. At the end of the study, a new type of Satar has been developed by using different fishes such as Orocomycin in order to create a new taste. In addition, the study has been developed a new type of Satar to compare the proximate content of Orocomycin Satar with the original Satar, thus determine its sensory abilities and shelf life. Satar with 320 grams of Orocomycin had an aromatic and appealing odor, unique taste, crispy texture, and slightly firm appearance. Shelf life was determined by observing texture, appearance, and odor of the Satar every 2 hours. Based on the hedonic scale, the most long-lasting Satar goes to 320 grams of Orocomycin. This is because the minimum amount of tilapia and moisture content of the Satar. Recommendation: since there are a lot of other factors that may influence the storage of SATA, therefore, from the result of my own research, the selection of packaging for SATA is also very important because it will also affect the durability of the SATA itself, such as the texture and appearance of the SATA per week. Moreover, people nowadays look more at the appearance or the shape of SATA or the shape of the food. So to attract their attention, we can also make a new shape of sata, for example, the shape of the otak-otak. In addition, this study can be continued for sata improvisation, such as adding on spice or lactate in sata. That's all for me. Thank you.